Hi everyone, it's svgcoop.com and we are going to be starting our newest mini album. This is MA006, which is just basically mini album number 6 in our 12-month series. So I cut some chipboard, and actually my chipboard's kind of ugly because I did the book and I didn't like the way it came out, so I ripped it all apart, but I decided to keep my chipboard, so you're going to have to excuse the ugly. We're going to cover that up anyway. But what you want to do is you're going to need 2 pieces of chipboard that are 7.5 by 5.5 inches. So you can see I have 2 here. And then I have a 7.5 by 2 inch piece. And I have a 7 3/8 by 1 7/8. And of course mine has little holes in it because, like I said, I had done the book, and I didn't like it, so I ripped it apart. But I'll show you how to get those. That's going to be basically for our binding. So what we're going to do is just get started right away. And you're going to have 2 pieces of paper that look like this. It's going to have a score mark in it. So you're just going to fold these 2 pieces in half. And we've done this several times before. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the 7 3/8 by 1 7/8 piece. So I'm just going to move these other pieces aside for now. And we're going to get these glued on to our piece. Just grab my glue here. Let's see. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, and I'm going to be using some of this Scotch quick dry glue. So I'm just going to put some on the inside here. So it doesn't really matter that my piece is ugly because we're going to be covering it up anyway. So you're going to just get that glued on there like that. And then the other side. And again, this is a 7 3/8 by 1 7/8 piece of chipboard. Okay. And while that dries for a second, you're going to be taking the piece that has all of these score lines in it, see that? And we're going to start with the top. It doesn't matter which one you want to call the top, wherever one of the wider sides is. I'm just going to fold that down. And then we're going to skip the next scored line, and we're going to go to the third one in, and I'm going to fold that one down as well. That would be your mountain fold, I guess, if you want to call it that. And I'm just going to then squeeze the paper together so that it can fold on the next 2 score lines. This is going to be where our hinge is, and we've done this several times before. So I'm going to skip again the next line and fold the mountain fold on the next one. You're just going to do this until you have all of the lines folded. So I'm going to skip, fold the next one. Once that's folded, I'm going to squeeze it together and push it down. Fold it back. Skip the next one, fold it up, squeeze it together, fold it forward. It's a nice, easy way to get these done. And then you're going to have your last fold. You're going to fold that down as well. That's why it doesn't matter which end you start at, because both of those are going to be folded down. And then we basically, you can see, we will have our hinges there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some red tape in between here. And we're going to keep these hinges nice and tight. I can find the beginning of my tape here. Okay, so I'm just going to put this tape inside the mountain fold. Just grab my scissors. Clip that. I'm using 1/2 inch tape because I got them on sale. Otherwise, normally I would be using a little bit thinner tape, but it doesn't matter in this part because of the tape overlaps. That's okay. Okay, so again, this is going into the inside of all of your mountain folds, right? So you see how we have the mountain fold. I'm going to pull the tab out. Get this tape off. And just going to get that squeezed back together like that. And that's to give our hinge a nice tight grip. Okay, so I'm going to pull the next one off. And again, just gonna pull that together. Next one. And then the last one. Okay, so you can see now we have the 4 hidden hinges there that we're going to be using. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take some more of this red tape and I'm just going to line this like this. And this is going to hold our hinges onto our chipboard. We're also going to be using the brads. So this is very strong, but we use brads to also secure our books because we don't want them to come apart. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the red tape from the 2 inner pieces here. And that's where our hinges are. What we're going to do is we're going to center that onto our piece here. Let's see, about there. Just so you can see it. I'm just going to push this down like that. Okay. Now, since I already have holes in mine because I poked this through before, I'm basically just going to take my paper piercer and poke that through. But in your case, what you would do is you would use a big bite. Put your big bite through like this, poke your hole, so you can put your brads through here. So what I'm going to do is pull this tape off the other side. And if you're not sure how to do that, I have lots of videos on how to create these bindings that will show you how to do that piece. Okay, so we're going to just get that on there like that. Okay, and now that I have this hole poked, I'm just going to poke it through the back as well. Okay. So now we have that. And that's going to be our center binding piece. All right, so now we're going to, next piece we're going to cover is we're going to take the 2 7.5 by 5.5 pieces. And you'll have 2 pieces that look like this, and it's got score marks around the folds. So I'm just going to peel this first one off. I ran mine through Xyron, hoping that this is going to stick better. The last one I used a little bit thicker paper, and it just wouldn't stick, which is why I had to pull it all apart. So I'm just going to center this on here. We're kind of going to wrap it like a present. Okay, just going to fold this up like that. This paper is working much better. This is thinner paper, so it's a little bit more flexible. Okay, and then we're going to do the same with the other piece. Let's pull this off. My Xyron ran out while I was in the middle of doing this. I'm just going to pull this off, and I'm just going to add a little glue on here. Always better to make sure your Xyron's full before you run this through. So I'm just going to add a little glue to this piece. Okay. But again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to center my piece that's 7.5 by 5.5 on here. Get this folded on here like that. Okay. Okay, so we have those two pieces. Next thing, I need to just get the pieces for here. Hold on one second. Okay, so I have my pieces. These are going to, I've ran these through my Xyron as well. Just going to take these off here. These are going to fit right on top of these pieces. Like that. Okay. The other one. I'm just going to get that covered up like that. Okay. Then what we're going to do is you're going to have a long piece. I ran mine, oops, sorry, on my Xyron as well. And this one has, it's got the little notches out on the side. And you're going to take your 7.5 by 2 inch piece, and you're just going to get this best you can centered on here. So actually, before I get that centered, I'm just going to take 2 little pieces of tie back envelope. Going to cut 2 little strips, and that's going to help keep your book from tearing if you open it a bunch of times. So basically what I'm going to do is I just cut 2 little strips. I'm going to put a little glue on here. And I'm going to glue it to the underside of my piece here like this. Like that. I'm going to glue another piece. Okay. Now I'm going to just kind of line this up and try and get this as centered as I can. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little glue on the tie back pieces here. And I'm going to take a little piece of chipboard and I'm going to line it up here, and then I'm going to take my first book piece and get that lined up with the other piece here like that. Okay. I'm going to do the same with the other side. Just going to stick this in as a guide. Okay. Then you're going to fold the top down. Bottom up. I'm just going to start to give that a little fold. Okay. And then you're going to have another piece that you're going to line up with the bottom. And that's going to go right up to the top like that. Okay. And we're just going to gently get this so that it's ready to bend. Okay. And then that way we have the base to our book just about ready. Okay, so then what we're going to do is, again, I already poked holes in my book here, but what I want to do is I want to put a magnet in the middle here. So I have these two magnets, and I want to make sure that they're going to stick together. So what I want to do is I'm going to put one magnet right here in the middle of this book. So I need a glue dot. Just grab, let's see, let me just go grab my glue dots. Okay, so I have my magnet, and I'm just going to put two glue dots on it. And what I want to do is I want to get it into the center of my book here, right about there. Okay, and I'm just going to put an extra glue dot on the top here, just for a little added security. And like I said, I had already put holes in here, but basically when you're going to poke these holes, you're going to do it once you have this attached, you know, with your big with your big bite. So I just have to figure out where exactly my little holes are. Actually, I think what I'll do is I'm going to use the red tape, put it on the back of here for now. And get this glued on. Okay, pull the tape off here. Okay, and we're going to get this centered on here. Go this way. Okay, so I'm just going to get this centered inside my book here, like this. Okay, and I'm hoping that this is going to work, otherwise I'm going to use my big shot again, but I'm just going to try and poke this hole right through here. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so in my case, I'm just sticking this through, but in your case, what you would do is you would use the big bite and get your brads in. So I have two brads, and I'm going to stick them through the back like this. wondering if I should run this through my big bite anyway. Because this shouldn't be this hard to get this through. Let me just see if I can make the hole a little bit bigger here. There we go. Okay, again, this would be easier for you because once you put the hole in with your big bite or crocodile or whatever, it's going to go in much easier than this. Okay, so now I got those in. I'm just going to flatten these out. And you have an option. You can cover these up with some washi tape if you want to. I think this time I'm probably not going to do that because you don't really see it anyway, but you can if you want. And I might do it depending on how it looks. Okay, so basically we have our little bit book ready and we're going to keep going. So thanks for watching. We'll be back with our next steps.